Welcome back, terrestrials. Thanks for joining us. We're doing a request. We got a request. We're doing it. See how that works? You request, we do. Um, as long as it's not something we've already done or sucks. But anyways, so we're in this episode. We're doing the Aussies' request of 1985's Clue,
Blue, right.
starring Tim Curry and Christopher Lloyd and Dollar Store Susan Sarandon. I literally watched the whole movie thinking that was Susan Sarandon.
Ah,
Um, anyways, yeah, it's you know the game. If you're our age, you know the game, you know the board game.
right.
It's blackmail. The movie's about six people being blackmailed. They start dying off, and Tim Curry is just the best. The best. This is somewhat peak Tim Curry. Like, I mean, his his acting in this is fantastic.
Right.
But we'll get into that in a second. Jerry, what do you grade this movie?
Give it an A minus.
Yeah, I think A minus is a good spot for it. I
Yes.
mean, it is such a good movie.
I
Now,
really enjoyed it.
the one thing that I was going to ask you, had you seen this before?
No, it was the first time.
Oh,
You?
really? Okay. This movie makes me so happy
Mm.
because it's just so much fun. It's
Yeah.
like so silly. It's like, it's along the lines of like how I feel when I watch Young Frankenstein. Like
Hmm.
it's just fun, it's goofy, it's silly, it's
Yeah.
lighthearted. But yeah, so this movie, love it, love it. Again, Tim Curry, the running back and forth when he's telling
Tim
this,
Curry's the goat in
like,
this movie.
oh,
Like
for sure, for
he's
sure.
like everything that
Yeah,
Tim does, he turns it up to 11. In this, he's just running circles around some of these actors, and
yeah,
he's just the best that
yeah,
can be provided. So,
yeah. He kills it. Um, Yeah, I mean Christopher Lloyd's good. Uh
yeah.
Michael McKean, like they're in the movie, they do a good job, but like
Especially with
nobody
how many actors are in here. Like, I
right,
mean, there's so many people in there that you have to kind of like piece together. Like, okay,
right.
this is like the one thing, like, I do wish though that they would have done
Uh-huh.
is like, okay, Mrs. White is in all black and Mrs. Scarlet has no red on here. And I know that's like,
Well,
no, who
yeah.
gives a shit,
Yeah, yeah.
Professor Plum doesn't even have any purple on,
Right.
I wish there was something like just a little color scheme because I'm
Yeah.
going being like the only one who's kind of is like Colonel Mustard. It's got
Yeah.
kind of like a shitty brown on,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, I know which one's that, but
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely was losing who they were. Ms. Peacock was easy because she had the feathers in her hat
right,
initially,
right.
so like that one was pretty easy. But and nobody in my age range that saw it as a kid will ever forget the maid. But like everybody else, you kind of they're like, who's that again? Oh wait, which one is that?
Mhm.
Even now as an adult watching it and being able to like should be able to mentally keep up, I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, hold on, so he's Colonel Mustard, okay, so then that makes him like but
Especially at the end where Tim goes through that long dialogue
mhm,
of where everybody was and how and what was
mhm,
going on, and then he's like, "You, Professor Plum, we were in the and or you, Karma, in the and
yeah,
he's going along, and I'm having to go like, yeah, like this is definitely a movie that you want to watch like 3 or 4 times,
mhm,
just so you can see all the like I'm guarantee all those little details are there
mhm. Oh
to
yeah,
be
they're
able
there.
to, you know, figure out.
But you
So
also get two endings. So like
you get
it makes
three.
it even, well, yeah, three endings. So like it makes it even more confusing
Right.
because you're like, wait, so hold on.
Do you know why there's three endings in this movie? is because depending on which theater you went to,
Oh, that's right. You got a
you
different
get which
ending.
ending they decide.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
and I
pretty
don't,
funny.
yeah. And so, like, in my opinion, the best one is the one that this movie ends on.
The first one.
No, the
The
third
third
one, the
one.
last
Okay.
one, the one where I'm Mr. Body and I did it all.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's like, oh yeah, the butler did it. Yeah, we knew that we saw that shit coming a mile
Yeah, I
away.
kind of felt like that was the obvious choice though. So but yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. It was
but like each one ends on a good joke,
mhm.
and this one, that one has the best joke where, fuck, who is it? Um, I don't know. The guy from Spinal
Michael
Tap's
McKean.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's just like, I'm gonna go home and have sex with my wife and shit. Like, I was like, yeah, just end the movie right there. That's the
Well,
best.
it's
Like
it's funny because of the joke earlier in the movie.
that he's gay,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
haha, I'm not.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because
Like,
when the maid's like, "Well, who will go with me?" Both the other guys are like, "I'll go," and he's like, "I'm good," and just like walks away. Like,
that's another thing about this movie, why it deserves the A, is there's a lot of fucking one-liners in this movie
mhm.
that are beautifully done
Yeah,
and
for
perfectly
sure.
timed.
Yeah.
Like that's like comedy. We talk about like, oh, this and that, and like what makes a really good comedy
Mhm.
is that this one has great timing
Oh, for
of just
sure.
like all of the small things. Even like, when Tim Curry goes in to check it and see if the dinner's ready and stuff, and he walks and the chef turns and she has the knife,
Yeah.
and it was just good timing,
Hmm.
and like this movie has tons of one-liners, like I said, that I want to go back because I know there was a couple. Like I know I laughed
Yeah.
my ass off when the fucking singing telegram
Hmm. And
came,
just
and I'm just like,
shoots
this
her
is out of fucking
immediately.
left field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
In
this
Dollar
is
Store, Susan Sarandon shoots her immediately. Just as soon as
just,
she opens the door, bam!
yeah,
Like,
the cops like, it's a free country. Tim Curry looks and is like how free and shit, or like something like that, where he's
yeah.
just like, this
Yeah, I
cop's
feel like
seen
this is one of
everything.
those movies that you can watch several times and still find some new things. Because
Yeah.
I know that because of the three endings, you get a lot of like muddiness towards the end.
Mm,
Everything starts to run together.
yeah.
And so like you watch it a handful of times and you're like, okay, yeah, now I'm starting to put it all together. I'm starting to catch every line now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Is there anything in the movie you didn't like though?
No, not really. I think that the entire movie, I mean, like it's funny because I give it an A minus, but I can't really think of a ton of comedies that are as fun to watch. Like, yeah, there's
Right.
funnier movies, like, but I just have so much fun with this movie.
Right. Right.
Like as soon
Like,
as I put it on, I saw Tim Curry, and he's bringing people in. Oh, hello, come on in. Like
yeah.
it's just like I like it. I think it's nostalgic for me, so it just like brings this like yes, because it used to be on TBS
Mm-hmm.
all the time,
Yeah.
and I would just sit there and watch it over and over again. So no, not really anything that I disliked. Um, yeah, no, you.
I got a couple.
Okay.
Like at first when I was watching the movie, since this is the first viewing, I was really getting annoyed with the Gisette accent. I'm like, if you're not French, don't do the accent because it's really. But then when we find out, oh,
She's
she
not
was just
French.
pretending.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Yeah.
like, okay, that makes sense because at first I was just like, this is annoying. Fucking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it because I found that out late, I can pass that.
Mhm.
Another one that I wish,
Isn't, sorry to cut you off. Isn't that annoying though, where you have a thought on a movie, like as we do this for reviews, where you're like, I don't like that shit. And then
yeah.
later it's explained and you're like, oh, well, I'm stupid.
Oh yeah, yeah, but I still didn't like it back.
Yeah.
You should have
Yeah. Yeah.
told me
Yeah.
earlier. Fuck,
Sorry. Sorry. Go
you
ahead.
know. But I wish the movie would have put characters in different positions instead of like everybody in that one room. So I
Mhm.
wish at one point, like, you know, Mrs. White and Mrs. Scarlet, they're gonna go to the library,
Well,
not
they
to
do.
investigate, but like
Right.
before Mr. Body dies.
Mhm.
Like they all just start, we're going to go play pool and we are going to go to the music room.
Like just
And
having like a little party mixer kind of thing.
right, they're waiting around. Okay, well, where's our well, this is boring. Yeah, let's go. We're going to go to the kitchen or,
Mhm.
we're going to be here. And then something happens and then us as an audience member kind of like because that's one thing while I was watching the movie I never once suspected anybody of murdering people at all. Like, and usually in a
Yeah.
mystery, that's kind of what you want. I think it was fucking, I think it was Plum. That fucker,
Well, so I think that I think that it falls victim of its age because
right.
I think that a newer movie would be clever enough to do that
Yeah.
because yes, it would have been smart to like have them like two people walk in and discover the body and then be like, well, these, people, that kind of thing. But like, and they did a little bit later when they're all investigating and looking around and finding the passageways and all that stuff.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
think I think that that would have been a fun idea, but I think it was just of its time because they do make an effort to be like, well, this person was killed with a knife. Whose knife? Ms. Peacock's knife. This
right.
person was killed with a wrench. Whose wrench? Yvette's wrench. Like,
Right.
like that
Right.
kind of thing.
Like,
So they tried to throw the red herring, but us nowadays we go, well, no, because I
yeah,
saw
especially
her
because we're
car.
not prone to all the information.
Right,
It's like, oh, we didn't know that the maid was working, and
right, right,
like,
right,
oh, we didn't know that, or you know, but they were all together, and the butler's like, who wasn't in the room with us? And I'm like, I don't know, motherfucker. I rewound it. Everybody was in that room with you, and then it's like it was the maid. Oh, and it's just like, oh, I wish there would have been more of kind of like a Knives Out type of like
Yeah, and
deal
see that's the
where
thing. It's like that runs because Clue walked. You know what I
right,
mean? Like
right. Yes.
they saw Clue and was like, we can do this, and
Yeah.
we can do it
Or
a little bit, at a
Ocean's
higher level.
11. Like how did they
Exactly.
rob how did they do this and shit?
Right.
And then like in the Tim Curry fashion of like explaining everything, that's when we see like and then so and so went through the library to the secret tunnel and kind of like when you're playing the game, you kind of like, you know, I believe it was Colonel Mustard in the
Right.
library with a lead pipe and shit. And, it's like, how could I have the lead pipe when it was locked?
Yeah.
Like they did that stuff kind of really good, but
Mhm.
there's just like but that's why it's still a great fucking movie. And that's another thing that I really like. I was like, okay, 85. All right.
Yeah.
I can count 100 billion great 80s movies. Like the list goes on and on. And Clue was never on my list.
Right.
But it's like, why? This is really good. This is
Yeah.
close
That
to
I couldn't remember if
perfect.
I couldn't remember if you had said that you hadn't seen it when we
Mhm.
talked about it. And that's why I was about to ask you earlier. I was like, this was the first time, like, um, I was so excited for you. And I was like, so hoping because it was
Yeah.
it's like, it's like if you had seen Point Break and you saw me see Point Break for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be like, I know,
Oh,
right? Like,
buckle up there, partner. It's gonna be
but,
a hell of a night.
yeah, but like it is. It's such a fun movie.
Right.
And it goes under the radar a lot of times when people talk about great 80s movies. This isn't one of them that is I think
I
that
think
if
there's
you
a
talk
select
about
few people out there that really enjoy this movie, but it
well,
should be
I
up there
think
when people say like Back to the Futures, Goonies, Die
right,
Hard, and
right.
it's like, where's Clue? Where's
Well,
Clue?
I think that
'Cause-
eventually you get to it, right? Because you name like uh you name the other, Back to the Future, Goonies, you name
right,
these movies, and then if you run out of things, then you go, I mean, Clue. Like,
right.
it's just not in the forethought, and it needs to be more in the forethought, I
It
think.
does. It does. And like, like, oh, we're having an 80s party. Dress up as your favorite 80s movie character. And like, you'd get a bunch of Karate Kids and Marty McFlys and John McClanes and like, who, no one dressed up as Miss Scarlet, like, or Miss White and stuff. Like, no, you should because those are iconic characters, especially iconic looking characters too, because each one has
Right.
a unique kind of feature and look to them,
Yeah, they
So,
definitely did a good job of giving everybody their own. And then, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, could Mr. Green have worn green and Mr. Professor Plum wore some sort of purple or something?
right,
Yeah, but also at the same time, like Ms. White, she's wearing all black. It's kind of the opposite. He get it.
right.
Yvette, the maid, she's exactly what she is.
Classic maid
Um,
outfit,
yeah,
you know.
Scarlet, Miss Scarlet,
She's in
she's
green.
yeah, dollar store Susan Sarandon, so you just gotta
I've seen that
remember.
actress a million times too,
I
and
know,
I
I
don't
have
know who
too,
the fuck she is.
and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot Susan Sarandon's in this movie. And then I like at the end, like the way she would turn her face in certain angles, I was like, that's not her.
No,
That's got to be her. That's not her.
that's not
And
her.
I think it
No.
was just like they were never super close on her face, and it wasn't super high quality. So like I was just like my brain just kept inserting her
Just
from
putting,
my
yeah.
childhood. My brain just kept putting her there. So I was like, nah, it's gotta be her because that's her. And then I looked it up and I was like, it's not her at all. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
like it did just tell people. Yeah, Susan Sarandon's in Clue. It's like, no, she's not. Go back and watch it, motherfucker. I guarantee you'll see Susan Sarandon. I did, like that's what you just got to do from now on. So, um, I did remember you were talking, and my brain remembered one of the lines when the cop was pretending to be the Jehovah's Witness, and Miss Peacock slams the door in his face and says, "Get out of here, beatnik."
Yeah.
or something to that level. I'm just like, that's great.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck would a Jehovah's Witness be doing? Like, it's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also like the standard of like, we have 45 minutes because the cops are coming,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, well,
That's when the
nobody does
cops
shit.
used to stay in. That's when the cops used to stay in the station until you called them.
Right.
Or there'd be like one patrol per town or something, like, you know what I mean? Like they weren't just at your door ready to harass you.
Right,
Like
right.
so
Like,
like yeah, you
we'll
had
just wait
45
around
minutes.
here until that this anonymous call said to show up 45 minutes. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we'll definitely do that. It's just like, no, fucking go now, guys.
It is a little funny that like when the cop does come and or yeah, the
First
first
cop or
cop,
second cops?
First cop, Bill Henderson, cop number one, the cop. He comes in and they're like they're playing with the dead bodies, like somebody's making out with
Yeah,
one and the
yeah.
other person's like holding the other one. Like
This
I'm
man's
just like
drunk, dead
yeah,
drunk.
dead drunk. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, great one-liners again. But like it's just
yeah,
funny like at the silliness of the situation. Like they Wadsworth calls the cops and then is hiding all the murders from the cops when the cops show up unannounced.
yeah.
He's waiting for the other cops that he caught. Like
Right.
it's so random and yeah,
Oh my God. Yeah. Fucking, or like, there's the one part where they talk about the door and they're getting ready to throw the key.
yeah,
And like he's like, and I'll throw the key. And they
yeah,
open the door and like the motor vehicleist is just there. And
yeah.
but then again, it's a movie. It's not a game. It's based off of a
Right,
game,
right, yeah.
So I
I
think this
think
is like number two in like things that are based off of fucking toys, movies that are based off toys that actually work. So
yeah, maybe. I'm not
yeah.
sure. I would have to do some research on that.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, it's Battleship by a Mile. The Rihanna fucking movie.
oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you are missing
So
out.
I'm
Check back
sure I'm
next
not.
week where we do
Yeah, no,
Battleship
I'm
with
sure we're not going
Rihanna.
to do that.
Fucking that piece of
But yeah,
shit movie. This is just proving once more. I mean, I've never seen a bad Tim Curry like product. So
yeah.
he's just a goat, man. Fuck. That's all I kept thinking was like literally you could have had just mannequins as fucking the murderers and shit.
Yeah.
And just Tim Curry, or better yet, Tim Curry does the whole movie by himself.
Like a Nutty
And
Professor kind of
yeah, and
thing.
he's just no, he's just putting wigs
Oh,
on and
okay.
shit. Like he's all by himself, and he's just like doing Miss Scarlet's lines, and then he's doing Miss White's lines, and he's doing his lines, and just like
If it was 1985, I would have paid to have seen that. That would have been
cocaine
great.
fueled, fucking crazy,
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
crazy.
sure. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. And then those
No,
couple of things. Tim
there's
Curry's the goat in this. The
for sure.
cinematography is nothing like
No, it's
crazy good.
I mean it's quick cuts and it's fun, it's fun stuff. Like
It's based on comedy, so it's all about timing once more. Like all of the camera work is all on timing. Did you notice who this movie was produced by?
no, I did not.
Fucking Deborah Hill.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did notice that. I was like, huh, Halloween and this, huh? All
Yeah,
right.
my
Like,
brain like was
cool.
watching it and I was like, that name looks from fuck, it's
Yeah.
Halloween, Deborah Hill.
Yeah.
Fuck. I was just like, wow, that's crazy. Halloween and this. Fuck. Um but yeah, that the soundtrack, like when I was listening to it, nothing special. I like the one song that's playing when they're having to trick the cop that where they're actually at a party and
Yeah.
stuff. For some reason, it just like kept playing, and I was just like, it's pretty good. But like as a movie, like in today's standards, it holds up
Yeah,
well.
it still holds up great. And
Yeah,
I mean, like even Tim Curry has said that this is one
this
of
is
his favorite movies.
yeah.
So,
As the
uh
butler, fuck,
I
that's
dude, it's so good. I
or
like I
Mr.
might
Body, depending on what you believe
right,
is the
exactly, yeah.
truth. You know, did Miss Scarlet do it? Was it Miss Peacock? Was it, a collaboration, or as what the movie tells us at the ending is that it's Mr. Body. It was killed his butler and set this whole thing up as kind of like a joke, I guess. I don't know. Fucking,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't
And
know.
so apparently I was looking at the IMDb and it says in ending B, where it's revealed Miss Peacock murdered all six people. It was revealed that she was actually shot dead by the police chief when he confronts her at the car after saying, Wadsworth, we got her. The chief then turns to Ms. Peacock's dead body and shoots her again. This was deemed too
Jeez.
dark, and Ellen Brennan recorded a new line saying, Take your hands off of me. I'm the senator's wife.
Right.
This changes Peacock's outcome so that she is arrested instead of shot.
Yeah.
However, the part of the rejected sequence remains in the movie. After the police runs to Miss Peacock to arrest her, you can see smoke in the air from the chief's revolver as if he had recently fired it. In narrative, this could be interpreted as the gun misfired.
Right.
But yeah, that would have been fucking hilarious if he
Yeah.
shot her and shot her again. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Put one in like her chest and one like in the face and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah, yeah.
where the fucking head turns around and shit. Fuck. But
But
that's
this movie feels a lot like, and I know they're years apart, but this movie feels a lot like Death Becomes Her. Just like
yeah.
silly out of left
Dark.
field type of dark comedies.
Yeah.
And I this it's weird because I know that this movie again in the time frame is not close, but this sent me down a rabbit hole of like nostalgic comedies because I
Hmm.
watched Death Becomes Her. I watched Multiplicity, which is not terribly funny.
Right.
But it's just like that, like Michael Keaton, Tim Curry, they're nostalgic for childhood. So like I was just watching these like movies and Bruce Willis obviously for Death Becomes Her does a great job. But like it's just like I was like on this little run for a little while because I was like Yeah, dude, like we just finished horror or like, Halloween and like
Yeah.
we got a good review, a good request, so I jumped at it and it just sent me down this little path of nostalgic comedies from childhood and it's been
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
been a
definitely.
fun little ride. We're American,
In
we're
that
stupid.
case,
Anyways,
Jacob,
yes.
hey, you gonna go see this movie in the theater?
I would, yeah, I would. Absolutely.
I would go to see this in the theater 3 times, but I wouldn't want someone to tell me what ending they're choosing. If they
Oh,
can
so you want to
choose,
see each ending separately and that would be cool. Yeah, I would go
yes,
do that. Yeah.
you know, because I think all three of them have the ending on there, you know? Oh, I
No,
think,
so like
oh,
initially they only gave you A at this theater, they only gave you B at this theater,
okay.
they only gave you C.
For the
So like for
DVD,
us to have seen it the way we saw it is not how it was intended.
right.
So
It's
it actually takes away from the experience because there's some people out there that have only seen it with ending A because they saw it in theaters.
right.
So that would be an interesting thing because if we see it and we see ending A, then we'll know what it looks like with ending A. And then we see
Okay.
it with ending B, we'll know because we're not getting it convoluted with ending A and C. It's just B. So I think that would work best.
Yeah. I think that's what they should do on streaming is like they
A,
should have
B,
Clue
C.
1, Clue 2, and Clue 3 on there. And
Chop it
you
up.
don't know which one is which.
Yeah.
And you're just watching and be like, oh, this is the Scarlet ending. Oh, this is the Peacock ending. Oh,
Uh-huh.
this is the Peabody, Mr. Peabody,
Yeah. Mr. Body.
Mr.
Yeah.
Body, whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking's ending. I think that would make it
That would be
viewable.
fun.
But theater watch, yeah, yeah, I would go to the theater
For
and see
sure.
this. Definitely. Physical copies.
Yes, I actually do. I have this on tape.
I don't have this on tape, but I would like to have it on tape. I
Yeah.
think a physical copy of this would be really, really good. Uh, Cult classic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's just not brought up enough.
I think
And that's why I
that
like
there
it.
is
Don't
a
blow it up.
small group of people out there that probably really do enjoy this and probably do watch it on repeat. And
Yeah.
I think there is a cult
I agree.
classic in this.
I agree. I just
You know,
yeah, and I think it gets overlooked a lot. So,
right,
and
right.
I'm okay with that because I like it where it's at. I like hiding it and going,
Mm,
yes, it's all mine, my precious.
yeah.
So
You're gonna recommend it?
always, yeah,
I'll definitely recommend this movie. I'll 100% like go watch it. If you haven't seen it and you're seeing us talk about it, just go watch it. It's great.
yeah, yeah,
So it's a video waste stamp of approval.
yeah. No shit for sure.
So
Yeah, I mean, if somebody doesn't like this, then like I don't
we
know.
can't be friends.
Yeah, like I feel like Talladega Nights where he's like, if you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you.
Yeah,
Like,
fuck you. Fuck
but
yeah,
yeah,
that's probably the best. Like make a shirt that says it's fucking if you don't like Clue.